Hi, my name is Aya. You're watching Aya Reads, and I'm here to do my last anticipated new releases for 2024, which is obviously the December 2024 new releases. So, as always with these videos, I'm talking about a lot of books. Not all of them are necessarily books that I am interested in reading as soon as possible. It's mainly to put these books on your radar. I have a combination of traditionally published books and indie published books. All of them are romances or have like heavy romantic themes in them. I only have one book that is a direct sequel, so I'll talk about that towards like at the very end. All the other ones are either first books in series, or they are standalones, or they are like in a series, but the books are companion books, so you can read that book without having read the others. And as always, I'll be talking about them in order of publication date, starting with Keep Me by Sarah Kate. So this is the first book in her newest series. Obviously, it has BDSM in it because she tends to write those romances. This is A Marriage of Convenience with a Scottish hero, which, say less, if this has an audiobook, maybe I will listen to that as well. So you follow Killian Barclay, who wants to be left the hell alone, so he turned his ancestral home into a den of iniquities. His family really wants to have him settle down, but apparently they have ulterior motives. So they approach New Yorker's Sylvie Devereaux, who is the daughter of famous yet neglectful parents. They want her to marry him. And in exchange, if she is married to him for a year, she'll get $10 million by the end of it. Of course, they fall in love. But even though I've only read one Sarah Kate, I did like the way she did the BDSM aspects in that book. And also, I love A Marriage of Convenience and a Scottish hero, no less. And this one comes out on December 3rd. Another book that comes out on December 3rd is The Mirror in the Mountain by Dana Evan. And this is a first book in a fantasy romance series, I think. So the synopsis doesn't give me a whole lot. I know that it's a fae romance. Eva is trapped, and then Bash rushes in to save her and take down the false king. Now she's forced to choose between her kingdom and her future. And I'm assuming she's gonna fall in love with this Bash character. I don't know. That is not really that clear, but it does say it's a fantasy romance. Another book that comes out on December 3rd is Under Lock and Key by Lana Ferguson. You know, Lana Ferguson really writes all types of romances, because I believe this is a monster romance, and the monster is the monster of Loch Ness, I think. Let me actually read the synopsis before I say some bullshit. Yeah, I think that is what's happening here. Kayana K. McKay, okay. How many times can I say the word K? She's raised by a single father who never divulged his past, but after his death, she finds herself thrust into the world he's always refused to speak of. She goes to Scotland, and there she meets Lachlan Greer, who has his own secrets. He saves her from the slippery shore, and then once he hears her last name, he realizes she's part of a family he's always been told to stay away from. But of course, they fall in love. I'm pretty sure he's the monster of Loch Ness, but I don't know. I've not read Alana Ferguson yet, but I am so intrigued by her books because, like I said, they all sound very different from each other. And what I like about her books is that she is traditionally published, but it seems like she has these books that are very much found in the indie world, like monster romances, Omegaverse romances, stuff like that. Another book that comes out on December 3rd. Have I been saying November all this time? December, obviously. December 3rd is A 5-Letter Word for Love by Amy James. This is a romance about two people who met each other while playing Wordle, right? So Emily have a 300+ day streak on the New York Times Wordle. Oh no, that's not true. I totally made that up. She has a 300-day streak in Wordle, and one day she wants to keep that streak, so she's forced to turn to one of her irritating, car-obsessed coworkers, John, for help, and then they make their way word for word toward a 365-day streak. This doesn't have the best ratings, but it does sound cute. The cover is cute. And it is a little bit different from regular romances, I guess, so I thought I'd put it in here. Another book that comes out on December 3rd is Designs on You by J.C. Burton. Okay, so in this book, you follow a single mom who's an interior designer, and her sister asks her to decorate her house. And when she gets there, her sister's brother-in-law, so her husband's younger brother, he is a game designer, and he is very much intrigued by Natalie. She wants to keep him off limits because he is younger than her, and she really doesn't have time for romance. But of course, it's gonna be that romance, older woman, younger man. Yeah, that's about it, I guess. Okay, December 5th, Forever the Highlands comes out by Samantha Young. This is the 6th book in the Highlands series. And this is a brother's best friend romance. I cannot pronounce these names, so I'm just gonna say he and her. His best friend's family has always been his family, and both of them have been pining for each other. I think her more so than him, or for longer at least. She's a famous actress, so she hasn't been in the Highlands for a while. Now she's back, and he gets a surprise. A baby is dropped off by somebody I guess he used to date. So he's now a newly single father, and I believe, yeah, so he needs help and she's willing to help him, and it's their romance, and I tend to love these tropes. A book I'm just interested in simply because of the cover. It doesn't really have a synopsis, or at least not on Goodreads, but Bourbon and Secrets. Look at this beautiful cover. Just look at it. Like, he is like the most handsome man I've ever seen, and she's gorgeous too. Like, this is such a beautiful cover. In fact, I'm gonna buy it on December 6th, which is when this book comes out, solely because of the cover. But I have heard good things about the first book too. But I mean, honestly, I follow this artist and her covers are just beautiful. But this one might be the most beautiful one of them all. Gorgeous, but I don't know what this is about, honestly. Yeah, I believe this follows a whiskey distillery, and you follow like the romances of the people working there, I think. I'm not sure. Let me actually see if I can look on her Instagram. Okay, I cannot really find it quickly, but I do know it's a single dad. Romantic suspense, small town, secrets and blackmail, hate to love, returning home, found family, bourbon tasting, which I'm sure that's gonna be a sexy scene. Listen, like I said, this could be about anything and I would buy it simply because of this beautiful, beautiful cover. King of the Cage by Mila Kane comes out on November 6th. No, December 4th, I think. That's unclear. It's not out yet. Okay. Confusion. If you can hear that, that is the wind. But anyway. Okay, so this is a mafia romance, an Irish mafia romance. So this is about a girl who was forced to marry her brother's enemy, and they call him the Lost Boy of Hell's Kitchen. A legendary fighter, an ex-con, and son of the Irish mob, Bran O'Connor. So she is forced to marry him in exchange for protection. I tend to like those stories. December 10th, Not in My Book by Katie Holt comes out. So this sounds good. So you follow Peruvian American Rosie, who has a dream of making it as a writer in New York. So she signs up for this class, and there is her arch nemesis, ex-crush Aidan Huntington, an obnoxious, surly, and gorgeous literary fiction writer, and their teacher gets sick of their shit when they constantly keep bickering, so she forces them to co-write a book that blends both their genres. So she writes romances, he writes literary fiction, and throughout writing that book, obviously they fall in love, and it sounds good. I like those stories. See It Through by Julia Wolf comes out on December 10th or 12th, not clear. So Julia Wolf, obviously I've heard a lot of things about her because of Jen over at the Book Refuge. I have not read a book by her yet, so maybe this is a good way to start with her books, because this starts a whole new series, because I like to read books and series in order. So her Savage World, I want to read those in order. So this is a good way to start, I guess, with her books, in my opinion. Okay, never mind. This is a second generation story. I did not realize that. Okay, so their parents are Locke and Elena, and their story is Sweet Like Poison. Anyway, moving on. So you follow Hannah Kelly. Her older brother's best friend Remington used to be a family member until he left once he turned 18, and he hasn't been back since. Now he's back to settle his father's affairs, but so she lives in a house that was both left to her and to him, so they both own half of the house, and she really wants him to stay away, and she thinks he will because of things he did in the past. She thinks, okay, so he's just gonna do that and then he's gonna leave again like he did years ago, but he doesn't do that. He stays, and then she's also in danger, so he saves her, and it's their romance. How to Get a Life in 10 Dates by Jenny L. Howe also comes out on December 10th. Okay, so this is cute. So you follow plus size Haley Berkshire, and she's sick and tired of dating, which, girl, I can relate. So, but her family won't stop hounding her to bring a +1 to her sister's engagement party. She's always had a crush on her best friend, but a disastrous night in college put her squarely in the friend zone. So she finally agrees to have her family and friends set her up on 10 blind dates. And she thinks once she goes on them and they go horribly wrong, then they'll finally leave her alone. But these dates go surprisingly well. But there's somebody sabotaging the date, and it's Jack, the guy, like her college best friend. So I'm assuming they're gonna fall in love, and turns out that he always had feelings. I like the outfit she's in. Sexy. Okay, moving on. On December 13th, Sweet Prison by Neva Altaj comes out. So this is the 10th book in her Perfectly Imperfect series. This series follows all types of mafia romances, but all of them are perfectly imperfect in some way. So either somebody is scarred, or they have a disability of some sort, or they have something with their mental health. Yeah, this synopsis doesn't tell me much. Yeah, no, I don't know, but anyway, this is the 10th book, maybe even the last one. On December 17th, North is the Night by Emily Rath comes out. So Emily Rath has been writing these white shoes romances, and this is a sapphic fantasy romance. This takes place in Finland, where more than wolves roam the dark forest, and you follow Siri and Aina. Siri vows to protect Aina from danger, but even Siri cannot stop a death goddess from dragging her friend to the magical underworld. And there, the king of the underworld has plans for her, but Siri plots a daring rescue for the woman she loves most. The cover is gorgeous. I read Pucking Around by Emily Rath, and I did like that, and that book was so steamy. So if this is half as steamy, it's gonna be very hot. On December 17th, A Cruel Thirst by Angela Montoya comes out. This cover is beautiful. I believe this is a young adult book, but I don't care, it's beautiful. A fledgling vampire and a headstrong vampire huntress must work together against their better judgment to rid the world of monsters in this irresistible romantic fantasy. This is I believe it's Latin American folklore. I believe it's woven in because they're talking about sediento, which I believe that is vampire, I think. And they work together because both of them he wants to find the first vampire to break his curse, and she wants to rid the world of vampires. So the cover is beautiful, beautiful, and hopefully the book will be just as good. On December 24th, A Tempest of Desire by Lorraine Heath comes out, and this is the 5th book in the Scandalous Gentleman of St. James series by her, the first book being When the Duke Was Wicked. So you follow a Viscount who has retreated to a small secluded island only to have a mysterious and beautiful woman wash up on shore. Oh, she's an infamous courtesan. I tend to love those stories. So she was flying in a hot air balloon, but it flies off course and she finds herself alone with the isle's only inhabitant. A gorgeous, seductive lord tempts her beyond reason, and he is recovering from the nightmarish memories that continue to haunt him after a horrific railway accident. So yeah, it sounds amazing. I read one Lorraine Heath. I did like it, but I heard so many more good things about her that I really need to read more of her books. On December 26th, The Wild Wolves Rejected Mate by Kate C. Wells comes out. So this is the latest book in her Rejected Mate series. All of them follow a wolf that has rejected his fated mate, and then they realize too late, and then they have to grovel. I believe that's the premise of all of these books. So you follow Justice and Annie, and he left her, and now, I don't know, I think I explained the premise good enough. And then the last one I want to talk about is the direct sequel. As always, I'm just going to tell you the name, the author, and the publication date, because since it's a direct sequel, I'm assuming that if you're interested in it, you already have read the first book. So it's A Monsoon Rising by Thea Guanzon. Comes out on December 10th, which is the second book in the Hurricane War series by her. So these are all the books that are coming out in the month of December. Definitely let me know in the comments below if you're interested in any of them, or if you're interested in a book that I haven't mentioned. Leave all your thoughts down below. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know by leaving a like if you did. And thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later.